Broncos country, what is up? It is the Kodiak Broncos Podcast, and oh my goodness, today was a huge day in Broncos country because everybody was asking, when are we going to announce all the changes to our team? When are we going to announce, what roles have been filled, what promotions we were going to be giving out? And today we just did that within the past hour, and there's a lot of really, really good stuff in here. So I'm going to pull up this tweet from Zach Stevens from DMVR. And many Broncos coaches received title changes, the team announced. Zach Strief is now the offensive run game coordinator and assistant head coach. Davis Webb is now the offensive pass, I assume he meant pass game coordinator, and quarterbacks coach. And Jim Leonhard is now the defensive pass game coordinator and assistant head coach. Addison is now the cornerbacks coach. Isaac Shoemaker is now the linebackers coach. I don't know if he means inside or outside because we did have voids there, especially considering we fired our outside linebacker coach a couple days ago, and we fired our inside linebacker coach about a month ago. Sean Steen is also the director of strength and conditioning. So here are the new coaches that we're going after and that we've added to our staff. So Todd Davis, defensive quality control, was brought upon from DMVR, and you forget Sean Payton brought him in during his training camp from Sacramento State his rookie year, and I believe, someone want to verify me on that. I think that's just off the top of my head. But I know he was with Sean Payton, and Sean Payton had talked about that a long time ago during training camp, and he alluded to Todd Davis being, you don't want a talented player to get out of the building. And that's what happened with the Saints there, so he came here. But also, Darren Rizzi, special teams coordinator, nothing we didn't know already. Like, we knew that this was going to happen. Chris Morgan, assistant offensive line coach. A lot of people gave some pushback to this, but ultimately it is Zach Strief who runs the program for our offensive line, so I don't think there's anything to worry. Yes, I know Chris Morgan came from Chicago. Yes, I know Chris Morgan did not do a good job of the Bears offensive line coach this past year. Nothing to worry about, to be completely honest. Evan Rothstein, director of game management / offensive line assistant. Brian Niedermeyer, defensive quality control coach. Marwan Malouf, sorry if I'm saying that wrong, assistant special teams coach. Zach Lyons, special teams quality control. Taylor Porter, assistant strength and conditioning. So when you look at this, I'm going to go over here to this article real quick before I show you our updated coaching staff. So here are the new additions that we have made to this coaching staff, as you alluded to in this tweet. But if you want to see pretty much every title change that we got, kind of, I guess, condensed here. Zach Strief, offensive run game coordinator, assistant head coach. Davis Webb, pass game coordinator, quarterbacks. Austin King, I believe he was an assistant offensive line coach before getting promoted to our tight end coach. But yeah, Jim Leonhard, obviously he got his. So we have 3 assistant head coaches now, which is kind of cool to see. And I think a lot of this is due to the fact that we have Walmart money and we can just pay our assistants whatever we want. And I assume we gave them promotions within our building just so that they wouldn't go to other teams. And honestly, I think the unsung heroes of last year were Jamar Cain, Zach Strief, Jim Leonhard, and Davis Webb as well. But, there's a few other guys who I'm kind of forgetting about, I'm kind of spacing on. But either way, we were deep on our sidelines last year, and I think this is a very underrated part of why we did so well as a team. And, I'm just going to show you what our coaching staff looks like visualized now. So this is basically the chain of command. Sean Payton, obviously our head coach there. And then we have Joe Lombardi as our offensive coordinator. Now, he doesn't really do much here. I know that we were clowned on for hiring him 2 years ago. Based on the way his time with the Chargers went. And, with Sean Payton running the offense, maybe Joe Lombardi is a trash can, but he's our trash can. He's not going to actually run the offense. He's literally just there to help Payton install his scheme. So, yeah, that's completely fine there. Now, Zach Strief, offensive run game coordinator and assistant head coach. Well done, Zach Strief. You did a phenomenal job last year at getting our offensive line to play as well as they did. And we'll see what he does now with the run game coordinator title because, Jeff Stoutland on the Philadelphia Eagles, this is why they've been so successful over the past few years is because Jeff Stoutland never leaves, and he is their run game coordinator as well. Davis Webb, pass game coordinator and quarterbacks coach. So, I remember watching, I think it was Brett Coleman on the Bootleg Football podcast about a year ago, and he said that the Broncos had 2 future head coaches on their coaching staff in Jim Leonhard and Davis Webb. Now, more about Jim Leonhard, going forward. But Louis Yenny, He was retained. Kerry Colbert was also retained. I'm not going to lie, I wouldn't have blamed the Broncos if they had gone elsewhere with their coaching choices there. But, hey, trust the Sean Payton plan. Now, defensive. Now, obviously, Vance Joseph is still the second most important coach on our entire staff. But, you have a very, very talented array of dudes behind him. Just talking about Jim Leonhard specifically, he came over here from Nebraska, I believe, or no, Wisconsin, because he was the interim head coach. And he wanted to get into the NFL, and he wasn't even considered when, Wisconsin was going through their search, even though that, he was kind of promised that he would be next in line for that gig. So it comes here, and we were so worried about our secondary play last year and about our secondary coaching, especially after losing Christian Parker to the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, that is not invalid because, you look at what Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell did this past year as defensive rookies. Like, Christian Parker did a bang-up job as the secondary coach of the Eagles, but Jim Leonhard had the secondary playing at a very, very high level. He elevated Surtain's game to new heights just as a coach, elevated Riley Moss's game to new heights, like seemingly has found a solution at the cornerback 2 spot. Obviously, McMillan had a strong year, and we played very, very strong this year, even though we were weaker on the back end. Brandon Jones, absolute dog, did such a good job. But P.J. Locke, it says a lot about this coaching staff that they had the year they did on the defensive side of the ball with P.J. Locke as their starting safety for a lot of the year. Defensive line, Jamar Cain. I actually thought Jamar Cain was exclusively their pass rush specialist, but maybe I'm doing something. I don't know. Maybe I'm just tweaking when it comes to that. But yeah, Addison Lynch, Isaac Shoemaker, and Joe Vitt as well. Todd Davis and Brian Niedermeyer as our defensive quality control guys. And as far as special teams, Darren Rizzi and Marwan Malouf, Zach Line. Our strength and conditioning. So this is a little interesting because we basically have 2 guys running the program. We have Bo Lowry at the very top of the chain of command next to Sean Snee and Dan Dale Rempel. But, these guys are pretty much co-running the program. It seems like one of them is in charge of strength and one of them is in charge of conditioning. Because I heard that from one of my good friends, Marquee Sports, and he says that is, kind of their plan of attack. And I was like, you know what? That makes sense. So, yeah, assistant strength and conditioning, Corey Jones, and assistant strength and conditioning, Taylor Porter as well. So we're pretty deep on the sidelines. And this just shows how well Sean Payton has done within his first 2 years of the Denver Broncos, being the head coach of the Denver Broncos, because we had 5 or 6 coaches get poached last year, and they got poached for really, really good jobs. Like Morton got poached to be the offensive coordinator of the Lions, which was probably the most desirable coaching opening for any non-head coaching gig this upcoming year. So props to him for that. And we did lose Banjo, we did lose Shaw as well, and a few other guys I'm spacing on right now. But overall, well done, Sean Payton. Well done for putting this staff together. And once again, we're deep on the sidelines, and we do not have the year we had last year without Strief, without Webb, without Jamar Cain, and without Jim Leonhard. So, yeah, that's absolutely awesome. I can't wait to see what we have in store for us going forward. One thing that's been really, really awesome to see is real player development, and that's something that we've been sorely missing for years, and we've seen many glimpses of it in the Sean Payton era, especially with guys who we thought were completely at their ceilings. We've seen Allen, we've seen Benito elevate their game to new heights. So, yeah. That just basically does it for me. I just wanted to talk about our coaching changes real quick. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Mahai salute.